Hey everyone, it's Gage with Oxford Wealth Advisors. You're gonna have to forgive me. Personal Gage went to a soccer match last night and left professional Gage here at Oxford with a little bit of a raspy voice, so forgive me for that. We're talking about retirement early on today's OWA Live segment. So this is a common topic that a lot of people are trying to figure out, like, how can we do this? How can we effectively retire early? And there's a new movement going on out there. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called the FIRE method. This stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. Financial Independence Retire Early. Now, the hot thing with this method right now, hot, no pun intended, is that we want young individuals to retire. You know, can we retire in our 40s or our mid-30s? What can we do to do that? And this method will talk about aggressive savings, aggressive investing, and working as much as we can to spend down day-to-day expenses that we have. So things like your utilities, these guys are actively working to replace all of the light bulbs in their house with high efficiency bulbs and putting on solar panels and doing everything they can, paying off debt as much as they can so that they enter into retirement debt-free. You know, this is a good plan, but honestly, it's one of those things that I don't think applies to everybody. And especially for some of us normal folk, I just don't think it's actually going to be a realistic goal. But there are some very powerful tools that we can keep in mind so that maybe we could retire a little bit earlier than like our full retirement age or something like that. Financial independence, retire early. So let's look at this. A couple of things that we want to pay attention to. So first off, let's make sure that we're paying down debt. Debt is the number one issue when facing retirement plans. People that go into retirement with high debt, a lot of the times they're making very poor decisions because they've got so much of an obligation to their monthly paycheck. So let's work, if we want to retire early, let's work to pay down debt and get our debt at zero if we can by the time we retire. If you can pay off your house, for example, before you turn age 60, that could be a very good arrow in your quiver to make sure that you are able to retire early. Number two, we're using multiple markers today. We want to make proper investments. Meaning we want to make sure that our investments match whatever our goals are. We talk a lot about this on this channel. So we talk a lot about matching your risk tolerance and things like that. But ultimately, if you have a goal to retire early, then maybe we need to get a little bit more aggressive. Maybe we need to look at some positions that might have a little bit better performance so that by the time you get ready to make that retirement jump, your investments will have performed to the level that you need them to. Now, making an investment decision doesn't mean just set it and forget it. We want to make sure that we're actively adjusting those risks and those internal investments to match whatever it is that you're trying to do. The last topic that we're going to talk about here is fund those Roths. Fund Roths. You're only allowed to contribute up to $7,000 a year into each one of these Roths. So that's kind of a detriment. Some of you may be doing that actively, and that's a wonderful thing. Those Roth accounts will help us to be able to retire before full retirement age. And using those Roth accounts, putting as much money away as we can, is a very important piece to retire early. This FIRE method, they recommend that individuals save 50 to 75% of their paycheck. And for a lot of us, we can't do that. We've got other obligations. But if we push ourselves, if we say, you know, I'm contributing 5% to my Roth 401k right now, and I want to contribute 10% in the next 4 or 5 years before I retire, that's a fantastic goal that will help us to prepare. If you're looking to retire early, reach out to us. Give us a call, either 505-891-9800 for those of you in New Mexico, or 512-827-3400 for those of you out in Texas. We'd be happy to discuss how we can apply some of these methods and get you to retire early. Until next week, we'll see you next time. Have fun, stay safe, and we'll talk to you next week.